When you look at your life right now, ask yourself this: are you truly growing or are you just surviving? Because survival and growth are not the same thing. Survival is staying where you are, safe, comfortable, predictable. Growth is stepping into the unknown, stretching your capacity, and proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. The comfort zone feels warm, but it's also where dreams quietly die. Growth only begins the moment you decide to step out. It's scary, yes. It's uncomfortable, yes. But think about it, everything you want, confidence, strength, breakthroughs, success, lives outside that zone. That's the price of greatness. That's the cost of becoming unstoppable. Discomfort is life's greatest invitation. Every single time you feel that tightness in your chest, that hesitation in your gut, that urge to step back instead of forward, it's life tapping you on the shoulder saying, there's more for you here. Yet most people run from that feeling. They misinterpret it as a sign they should stop. In reality, it's a sign they should lean in. Growth doesn't exist without resistance. Just like a muscle only grows when it's stretched and torn under pressure, your character only expands when you expose yourself to discomfort. Think about it, the moments that shaped you most weren't the ones where everything felt safe and easy. They were the ones where you were challenged, where the outcome wasn't guaranteed, where you didn't know if you could do it, but you did it anyway. Those were the defining moments. You didn't become stronger by avoiding hard times. You became stronger because you faced them. That's what discomfort does, it transforms. We live in a world that worships comfort. Everything is designed to make life easier, smoother, more predictable. Technology, habits, routines, they all cater to safety. And while safety has its place, it can also become a prison. Because comfort feels good, but it kills dreams. When you stay in comfort, you stop moving forward. You may not even notice it at first, but slowly, life becomes smaller, the spark fades, and before you know it, you're just existing, not living. The irony is that what most people fear, discomfort, is the very thing that gives life its flavor. Imagine eating your favorite meal every single day for the rest of your life. Sounds good at first, right? But eventually, it would become tasteless, boring, even suffocating. Comfort is the same way. It numbs you. Discomfort, on the other hand, keeps you alive. It wakes you up. It forces you to engage with life in a way that comfort never can. Every goal you've ever had requires stepping into discomfort. You want to build a healthier body, that means pushing through sweat, soreness, and fatigue. You want financial freedom, that means facing risk, learning skills you don't yet have, and putting yourself in positions that demand more from you than you've ever given before. You want better relationships, that means having difficult conversations, being vulnerable, and risking rejection. Discomfort is the price tag of progress. Here's the paradox: the more you avoid discomfort, the harder your life becomes. Avoid the gym, and your health declines. Avoid difficult conversations, and your relationships suffer. Avoid challenges, and your confidence evaporates. But when you embrace discomfort, life gets easier. Not because the challenges disappear, but because you get stronger. You become someone who can handle them with grace, energy, and power. Discomfort isn't punishment, it's preparation. Life isn't trying to break you when it pushes you into the unknown. It's trying to build you. Every time you step into something uncomfortable, you're proving to yourself that you are capable of more, and with each step your threshold expands. What once terrified you becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes effortless. That's how champions are made. Think about people you admire. Athletes, leaders, innovators. None of them got there by staying comfortable. They got there by embracing the grind, the pain, the uncertainty. They leaned into discomfort until it became their advantage. They weren't superhuman. They just learned to use discomfort as fuel while everyone else ran from it. The truth is, discomfort reveals who you really are. Anyone can smile when things are easy. Anyone can stay committed when everything goes according to plan. But when things get hard, when doubt creeps in, when you're pushed beyond your limit, that's when your real character shows up. That's when you discover your resilience, your creativity, your grit. Without discomfort, those qualities stay hidden. With discomfort, they shine. The greatest shifts in your life will never happen inside your comfort zone. They will always come from stepping into the unknown, doing what scares you and proving to yourself that you can handle it. You don't grow when you know the outcome. You grow when you take action despite not knowing. Uncertainty is the birthplace of transformation. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, instead of pulling back, ask yourself, what's on the other side of this? What version of me is waiting to be unlocked if I move through this fear instead of retreating from it? Because that's the gift of discomfort. It always leaves you stronger on the other side. Even nature demonstrates this truth. A seed must break open in the dark soil before it becomes a tree. A caterpillar must fight inside the cocoon before it can fly. Growth never comes without struggle, and just like that seed or caterpillar, you too must embrace the breaking, the stretching, the discomfort if you want to experience your true potential. Discomfort doesn't just shape your body, your skills, or your results. It shapes your identity. Every time you step into it, you shift who you believe you are. You go from someone who doubts to someone who acts, from someone who fears to someone who faces, from someone who survives to someone who thrives. That's why discomfort isn't something to avoid, it's something to seek out. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary lies in their relationship with discomfort. Ordinary people avoid it. Extraordinary people chase it. They understand that discomfort is the key that unlocks the next level of life. Every barrier broken, every limit shattered, every new horizon reached begins with one choice: to step into discomfort willingly, knowing it's the doorway to growth. Fear is one of the most misunderstood forces in human life. Most people treat fear like an enemy, something to silence, suppress, or run away from. But the truth is, fear is not there to stop you. It's there to guide you. Fear is a signal, a compass pointing directly at the areas of your life where the greatest growth, the deepest transformation, and the most meaningful breakthroughs are waiting. If you learn to reinterpret fear, it stops being a cage that holds you back and becomes a map that shows you where to go. Think about this: everything you want but don't yet have lives on the other side of fear. Want a deeper relationship? Fear of rejection stands in the way. Want to start that business? Fear of failure stares you down. Want to stand on a stage and inspire people? Fear of judgment grabs your throat. Notice something: fear always shows up right before the things that matter most. That's not a coincidence. Fear doesn't show up to block you. It shows up to highlight the path you must take. Most people believe fear means stop. They feel afraid and immediately think, this isn't for me, I can't handle it. But what if fear actually means go? What if it means pay attention, this is important, this is the direction of your growth? When you rewire your perspective and treat fear as a compass, suddenly it becomes fuel instead of friction. You stop shrinking from life and start moving toward it. Fear is not weakness, fear is energy. It's your body telling you that something significant is on the line. Imagine a race car driver at the starting line. Heart racing, palms sweating, adrenaline pumping, that's fear, but do they back away? No, they grip the wheel, slam the gas, and turn that fear into speed. You can do the same. When fear hits, instead of shutting down, channel it into action. Let the intensity move you forward, not backward. Here's the truth: courage doesn't mean you're fearless. Courage means you move forward even when you're afraid. Waiting for fear to disappear before you act is like waiting for waves to stop before you swim. It will never happen. Fear is part of the journey. The question is, will you let it cage you or will you let it direct you? Fear is evidence of possibility. You don't get afraid of things that don't matter. Nobody feels fear about brushing their teeth or tying their shoes. You only feel fear when there's something meaningful at stake. That's why fear is such a powerful compass. It points straight at the opportunities that matter most. If something scares you, it means it matters. If it matters, it's worth doing. And if it's worth doing, it's worth facing the fear. The challenge is that fear disguises itself as truth. It whispers lies like, you're not ready, you'll embarrass yourself, you're not good enough. But here's the reality. Fear doesn't predict the future. Fear projects your doubts. It shows you the worst-case scenario and convinces you it's guaranteed. But if you can see through the illusion, if you can realize fear is just noise, you can separate the signal from the static. The signal says this matters. The static says stay safe. You must choose which voice to follow. The greatest breakthroughs in history were born when someone chose to listen to fear as a compass instead of a cage. The first explorers who sailed into the unknown oceans, the innovators who launched ideas the world thought were crazy, the leaders who stood up for truth in the face of danger, they all felt fear. But instead of letting it hold them prisoner, they let it point them toward their destiny. Fear also sharpens you. When you walk into something that scares you, your senses heighten, you pay attention, you focus more, you bring your best. That's why some of the most powerful performances in sports, art, or business happen under pressure. Fear forces you to rise to the occasion. It doesn't weaken you, it activates you, but here's the key: you must act while fear is still present. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll wait forever. Action is the antidote to fear. The moment you step forward, even trembling, something shifts. The fear loses its grip. The more you act, the more fear transforms from a monster into a messenger. You realize it can't actually stop you. It can only test you. Every time you face fear, you grow. Your confidence doesn't come from thinking positive thoughts or wishing fear away. It comes from evidence. The evidence that you acted, survived, and even thrived. The evidence that you are stronger than the fear made you believe. That's how self-belief is built. Through repeated moments of facing fear and proving to yourself that you can handle it. Here's the paradox: the life you dream of requires walking straight through the fears you're avoiding. You cannot escape it. You can only decide whether to shrink or expand. Fear can be your prison or your passport. One choice keeps you stuck, the other takes you places you never imagined you could go. So the next time fear rises inside you, don't ask, "How do I get rid of this?" Instead ask, "What is this pointing me toward? What part of me is waiting on the other side of this fear?" Because that's the truth. Fear doesn't appear to block you. It appears to guide you, and once you understand that, you stop seeing it as a cage and start seeing it as the compass it's always been. Pressure is something most people avoid. They think it's the enemy of peace, the destroyer of comfort, the source of stress they want to eliminate. But here's the reality: pressure isn't your enemy. It's your forge. Pressure doesn't break you, it reveals you. It doesn't crush you, it crafts you. Just as diamonds are born under immense pressure, so too is the strongest version of you. Without it, you never discover your true capacity. With it, you become unstoppable. Think back to a time in your life when you were pushed beyond your limits. Maybe it was a deadline you thought you couldn't meet, a challenge you thought you weren't ready for, a responsibility you weren't sure you could carry. At the time, it felt overwhelming. But when you look back now, wasn't that the very moment that forced you to step up? Wasn't that the exact situation that stretched you into someone greater? Pressure is not something to run from. It's something to run toward, because it unlocks strength you didn't know you had. Pressure creates urgency. Without it, we procrastinate, we wait, we delay. We tell ourselves there's always more time. But when pressure arrives, suddenly you act with focus, with intensity, with clarity. You cut out distractions, you bring your best, and you execute. Pressure has a way of pulling out a level of energy and creativity that comfort never could. It strips away the unnecessary and demands your full presence. That's why some of the best work you've ever done was under pressure. The truth is, pressure is a privilege. It means you're in the arena. It means you're playing the game of life at a level where the stakes actually matter. People without pressure are often people without purpose. They float, they drift, they coast. But when you've got pressure, it means there's weight on your shoulders, expectations on your performance, and opportunities on the line. That's not something to fear. That's something to embrace. Every great achievement in history was created under pressure. Athletes setting world records. Entrepreneurs building companies out of nothing, leaders making decisions in moments of crisis. None of them had the luxury of comfort. They had pressure pressing down on them, demanding more than they thought they could give. And it was in that pressure that their true brilliance emerged. Pressure also reveals character. It's easy to talk about values, goals, and dreams when everything is smooth. But when the heat is on, when everything is on the line, that's when you find out who you really are. Do you fold or do you rise? Do you retreat or do you adapt? Do you complain or do you commit? Pressure strips away the masks and shows you your true self. And the beautiful thing is, once you see who you really are under pressure, you can choose to become even stronger. Some people say pressure breaks people, but here's the truth. Pressure only breaks what was weak to begin with. What is strong gets stronger under pressure. Think about steel. Heat and force don't destroy it, they temper it. They make it resilient, durable, unshakable. You're no different. Pressure doesn't destroy you. It tempers you. It takes the raw material of who you are and transforms it into unshakable strength. The key is to stop resisting pressure and start embracing it. Instead of saying, "Why me?" start saying, "Try me." Instead of shrinking, expand. Instead of seeing pressure as punishment, see it as preparation. Because every ounce of pressure you face is preparing you for the next level of your life. It's shaping you into someone who can carry greater responsibility, greater vision, and greater impact. Pressure is also the birthplace of confidence. Confidence doesn't come from reading books, repeating affirmations, or wishing you were brave. Confidence comes from evidence. Evidence that you've faced pressure before and survived. Evidence that you can handle more than you once believed. Every time you walk through pressure, you build a deeper trust in yourself. And that trust becomes unshakable confidence. But here's the paradox. Most people spend their lives trying to escape pressure, not realizing they're also escaping their power. They choose the easy path, the comfortable choice, the safe route. And while it feels good in the short term, it leaves them untested, unproven, and ultimately unfulfilled. Without pressure, there's no progress. Without progress, there's no purpose. And without purpose, life feels empty. Look at nature. The tallest trees grow in the harshest storms. The strongest rivers carve through rock because of relentless pressure. Even the human body adapts under stress. Muscles grow when you put them under strain. Everywhere you look, pressure is the law of growth. Why would your life be any different? The challenges pressing on you right now aren't there to crush you. They're there to carve you into someone extraordinary. And here's the gift. Once you've been forged by pressure, you stop fearing it. You start seeking it, because you realize it's not there to hurt you. It's there to help you. You understand that the pressure you feel isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of potential. It means there's more inside you waiting to be drawn out, and the more pressure you willingly embrace, the more limitless you become. Pressure also builds resilience. Life will throw curveballs. It will hit you with setbacks, losses, and challenges you didn't see coming. Without resilience, those moments crush you. But when you've been shaped by pressure, you bend without breaking. You adapt without quitting. You stumble but always rise. Resilience is built under pressure, and resilience is the foundation of greatness. So the next time you feel that weight on your shoulders, instead of seeing it as a burden, see it as a blessing. It means life trusts you with responsibility. It means you're being called to rise. It means there's a stronger, bolder, more powerful version of you waiting on the other side. Pressure doesn't hold you back. Pressure launches you forward. It doesn't steal your strength. It awakens it. Pressure is not something to avoid. It's something to embrace, because in the end, pressure doesn't just create results. It creates you. It shapes your identity, your power, your destiny. And the more you allow yourself to step into it, the more you'll discover that the pressure you once feared was never there to destroy you. It was always there to reveal the unstoppable force you were meant to become.